Hi, everyone. My name is Aaron Mark Mason, and this is my Acts of Motivation Stage 2 YouTube video. My title is Enhancing Motivation, Practical Strategies and Theories, Combining Theory with Real-World Experience. Why motivation matters. Understanding motivation theories and their impact. Motivation is a key driver of success in any field, whether in education, leadership, or personal development. In this presentation, I will share strategies that have helped improve motivation in my work, guided by well-established theories such as expectancy value theory, causal attribution theory, and goal orientation theory. These theories offer valuable insights into how individuals can be motivated to succeed, especially when facing challenges. I've been using this over the course of this semester, and it's definitely have had a huge impact on my work environment and also my students. So strategy one, building self-efficacy with expectancy value theory. According to expectancy value theory, motivation is driven by an individual's belief in their ability to succeed and how valuable they perceive the task to be. In a recent experience, I helped a struggling colleague with self-doubt by focusing on small, achievable goals that built their confidence over time. Their belief in their own abilities grew, which led to improved performance and engagement. This demonstrates how boosting self-efficacy can directly influence motivation or productivity. So I had a colleague that struggled with getting her lesson plans in on time, and she also struggled with making her lessons engaging. So the fact that her lessons weren't engaging, it really stressed her out, and she was really unmotivated. So I was able to show her a different a different technology integration programs and things like that to make her class more engaging because this generation, Gen Z, of course kids they love being on technology and their computers and everything. So whenever she went to independent learning, when she didn't have her small group, I showed her some different technology applications and resources which engage her students. So when she taught whole group, the students were more engaged, not only because she started to speak more engaging, but also because they knew that this was going to lead to a more engaging activity directly afterwards. Strategy two, encouraging intrinsic motivation. To motivate my students from within, I made lessons more engaging by connecting them to real life situations. I gave students choices and assignments, allowing them to explore topics they're interested in. I also provided regular positive feedback, encouraging them to reflect on their own progress. By focusing on their personal growth and showing how learning could benefit them beyond the classroom, I help students take ownership of their education and feel more motivated. So I wanted to make sure I use different topics as far as sports and animals within my small groups to motivate my students even more. My students, they definitely love the topics that we use throughout module lessons, but I want to make sure that I can use something they can relate to, something they can have a conversation with their friends about, something they have a lot of background knowledge on. Because of course, we know that our students are well-rounded when it comes to animals. So I just wanted to make sure that these lessons were overly engaging so these students can hold themselves accountable and they can also hold their peers accountable as well, so I can make sure that I'm pushing my students to go over and beyond within the lesson. Because as long as I'm hitting the standards, I feel like that is what matters most at the end of the day. No matter the content, I feel like me hitting the standard and making sure the students understand the concept of what they need to learn is most important. Strategy number three, shifting mindsets with causal attribution theory. Causal attribution theory emphasizes how people interpret the causes of their successes or failures. When individuals attribute failure to external uncontrollable factors, things like I can't do this because of my background, they often become demotivated. However, when they see challenges as temporary within their control, motivation increases. In my work with students, I applied this helping them reframe setbacks as opportunities to learn, which promotes a more resilient and motivated mindset. So I had several students. So this is just piggybacking off of my last strategy too. Whenever we do particular tasks that students may not have background knowledge on, I make sure the students feel I want them to feel engaged. I want them to go through that productive struggle. I feel like that's so important because it can help my students grow and it can also help my students be more open-minded when it comes to different tasks and different challenges. So sometimes I like to do the reverse of what I just discussed in my last slide, and I give students tasks that they may not have different background knowledge just to see how my students react. And once I give these students that, I make sure that I push them and I motivate them and I make sure I discuss them having self-motivation within themselves to still give the same energy within that task than what they would have given if I gave them something that struck their interest. Strategy 4, promoting mastery goals over performance avoidance goals. Focus on learning, not just outcomes. Goal orientation theory distinguishes between performance avoidance goals, focus on avoiding failure, and mastery approach goals, focus on personal growth and learning. In a recent team project, I shifted the focus from fearing failure to emphasizing the value of learning from mistakes and improving skills. This approach not only improved creativity and collaboration, but also helped the team feel more motivated and less stressed by the pressure to perform perfectly. So last year, my teams, their star group, we have this thing called star group to where we want to make sure that we meet each student's need within our team, within our fifth grade team. So, of course, we have our gifted learners, we have our high achievers, we have our gen ed students, and we have our lower learning students. So during this star time, we split the students up and let them go to different classes to make sure that we are serving our students to the best of our ability. And last year, they really struggled differentiating different tasks to make sure that they meet the needs of each and every student. So this year, we sat down for a week. We first found all the different resources that we could implement for these students. We also took the time to modify different resources for these students. And we made sure that we had the right amount of students in each class to make sure that we can meet every child's needs. Last year, the teacher said that they were overwhelmed because some teachers had 13 students within one small group. And how can you effectively meet the needs of every child with that many students? You want to make sure it's about quality and not quantity. So the less of the students, the more effective that we could be with each and every child. Practical applications for education and leaders. Adapting strategies to meet diverse needs. Whether you're working with students, colleagues, or employees, motivation strategies should be adapted to meet the needs of individuals. For students with exceptionalities or multilingual backgrounds, for example, it's essential to adapt approaches that are responsive to their unique challenges. Strategies like celebrating small wins, offering personalized feedback, and linking tasks to personal interests can boost motivation across the diverse groups. So first, I'm gonna speak to the students. Here in my school, we don't have a lot of multilingual students, but for the few that we have, we make sure that we have a lot of scaffolding for those students. We make sure we celebrate the small wins for those students, and we make sure those students feel included. I feel like, and even from a social aspect, we make sure that we partner these students up with different peers across the school and within the grade level, because once they have the social aspect and feel like they are wanted within the classroom setting, that will motivate those students to do the best that they can possibly so they can be the best they can possibly be academically as well. I feel that this is so important because these students need to have a clear social and mental aspect within the classroom so they can feel understood. And them having those friends, they're going to essentially want to be like their friends. So that leads to them being the best that they can possibly be. So I love all the different applications that I've taught and we have given our students within the school. Colleagues. I feel like it's so important to motivate, my colleagues and just within this class and just everything that I've learned within this class. It definitely has taught me to be more intentional about motivating my colleagues because sometimes as teachers, we don't feel valued, we don't feel respected, and sometimes we even don't feel wanted. So after learning all these different applications within this class, it has definitely motivated me to want to impact my colleagues, even for the small wins. Because I feel like once they understand that the small wins matter and they feel included and they feel praised, that just motivates people to want to go over and beyond. Because when you don't feel praised, it's like, why would I even work this hard if I know nobody would even notice? So that's why I've been more intentional since I've been in this class to praise my team and colleagues for a lot of different things that they do. And I also have expressed my not frustration, but I've expressed to the administration team about how they can apply these practical applications to the teachers as well. And I feel like over time they have done a great job being intentional about giving praise and giving certain feedback to all of the team. And I feel like this and motivation is so important to everybody. I feel like at the end of the day, we're a team. And, I feel like, it's important for people to not feel individualized. And I feel like, you know, more than one mind means everything because we can all pick off each other and we can learn from one another. And I feel like that's so valuable and so important as far as a team at the end of the day. Lessons learned and future application. Adapting, reflecting, and growing. This journey has taught me the importance of adaptability. Motivational strategies must evolve based on feedback and changing needs. I've learned that consistent reinforcement, celebrating small successes, and emphasizing personal growth can have a lasting impact on motivation. Going forward, I plan to continue applying these strategies with the focus on creating environments that promotes autonomy, mastery, and purpose. This is so important because just throughout this semester and just throughout this class, it really made me think about the importance of motivating my colleagues and being there for one another and just pushing each other to be the best that we can be. And we are that we have. And just within this class, it has just impacted me so much, not only for the teachers, but also how to impact my students. And I've had several conversations with my students about how they can impact one another. And I just love how, this class has taught me to let that trickle down effect impact not only me and my team, but also my students. And just seeing my students throughout the class being intentional about motivating each other and just having that family environment and also just pushing each other to be the best that they can possibly be. I feel like that's so important and that's so valuable because not only this is just going to impact my class, my students have friends in other classes, and just having those conversations and just expressing those things will also have an effect throughout the entire team, which can also lead to the entire school. I actually gave a presentation about motivation to the fifth, third, and first grade team. And I feel like a lot of people were very inspired because sometimes we overlook small things like that. And we have all different types of student. Every single child is unique in their own way. And every single child is not going to know how to motivate other people. Every single child, they may not, they may not be pushed off motivation. But I just feel as long as we're going over and beyond to push each other to be the best that we can possibly be, I feel that that's all that matters at the end of the day. And also the autonomy, you know, letting people understand that, hey, I trust your decision. You are in the position to make the right decisions for you. And whatever, and from my colleagues, if you feel that this is best for your classroom, I trust that. I truly trust that. And I feel like those things carry a long way and they go on forever. So I just feel like, this class has truly impacted me over and beyond. It's such a pleasure to be in this class, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to be in this class because it not only has had a huge impact on me, but it has also had a huge impact on my team and also my students. So I'm just beyond grateful. I was so excited to do this video, and I'm just, so excited to see how this class can not only impact me, but all the individuals around me and their future and also my future. And call to action, I encourage you to integrate these motivation strategies into your own practices. Whether you're an educator, leader, or parent, focus on self-efficacy, intrinsic motivation, mindset shifts, and mastery goals will help you and those you work with overcome challenges and stay motivated. Motivation isn't one size fits all, but the right tools you can help others succeed. So I just want you all to know that, you can make that impact on your team and also your students. I just feel like you have to be intentional about having those tough conversations with your team and also having those tough conversations with your students. And I feel like at the end of the day, it'll have a lasting impact on the entire camaraderie within your school. Motivation isn't one size fits all speaks volumes. And I feel like it's important to be intentional to do those things that I've discussed previously to have a lasting impact that can help you and motivate you and the others around you for the rest of your life. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you all have an incredible day. Thanks.